Hello everyone. In this video we're going to do homework number 5. What this wants us to do is they give us a text file and we have to store the artists, the albums, and the year for the best 100 albums or so into a dictionary where the key is the artist and the values is a tuple of the album and the year. That'll be one of our first functions. And then for our second one, it wants a function to print out the band name and the associated number of best albums. So that'll be the second function we do. And then our third function, we print out the total number of best albums in that decade. And so this will be a little tricky, but we can do it. And so let's get started. So we're gonna do our first function, which will be our main, and this function is where we store a list or our file into a dictionary. So let's create a dictionary. And we'll have an empty dictionary, and then we'll do a my file, open, and we'll have to do a best txt. Let me see here. Let me bring this out. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll move it back. Okay, so let's get back here. This is lowercase b. Okay, and then we'll have a my file equal my file.read. Let's go ahead and print this, see if it's stored. Oh, you gotta call the function. Okay, so alright, so we have our file there, and now we're going to mess with it. So we're gonna go to, so we're gonna create an index. We're gonna index over the file. We're gonna get a new file. It'll be empty. And we're gonna do some tricks so we can split up the artists and the albums and the years. So we're gonna create a whole new file, and we'll do a while loop. So while our index is less than the length of my file, if that string equals an open parentheses, which would be where the years are. If that's the case, then we want our new file to add a dash. Instead of open parentheses, we'll have a dash, and that's because we're going to do a sort of a split, and this will help us do it a whole lot easier. And then we'll increment index, and if it doesn't, then we'll just have new file plus equals my file idx. They're the same thing, which is we'll increment index. And so we should get something print new file. We should get something Yeah, see, we got the dashes here now. So we'll do that. Let's see now. What else do we need to do? Okay, so now we're gonna split each. Now we're gonna split the new file again, and we'll do. Or we're gonna split it the first time, and we're gonna split it at its break, which means \n. This is \n. That means something like, that's what creates these separate lines. So at the beginning of this, there's a \n, and that's how you get like different, how each one gets their own line, and it's to that, and so that's how we're gonna split it at that point. So we can have a list of those things. So let me print that out and show you what I mean. So now see, each element breaks at 2, at 3, at 4, 5, 6, and so on. Alright, and now that we've done that, we're going to create an empty list. We're going to create an empty list, and we'll call this. And then we're going to reset index. And then we'll do the same thing we did before, while index is less than the length of new file. We're now going to do another split, and this time we're just going to go into each of these little each value in the list, and we're going to split each one at the point of that dash that we talked about earlier. So new file index dot split, and we're splitting at the dash. And then in our new list, we're gonna append that split. We set it, equal to split, so we're gonna append that into a new list. And then we're gonna increment index. And let's see how this looks. And so we'll print out list. Okay, and so now we have a list, and it's broken into Beatles, the revolver, and then the year for each one. And so now we have broken the artist from the song, from the album, and then from the year. And so that's what we wanted. And now we're gonna do some more list creating. And so we're gonna create each. We're gonna put the artist in its own list, the album in its own list, and the year in its own list. And so we're gonna do that here. We're gonna reset index, and obviously you can change the values of the index. I just don't feel like being creative and coming up with new names. And then we'll do art list. That'll be an empty string. And then we'll basically be doing the same thing. So we'll do a while art index less than the length of this. I don't want list. Yes. Well, that's less than the length of list. We're gonna do same thing we did last time. We're gonna do strip, but this time we're just gonna strip the spaces. As you can see here, there's like spaces afterwards, and some of them have space between before. So we want to remove the spaces. So we're gonna strip the space. So we'll do list and because it's a list within a list, we're gonna go inside that list, and within that list we want the first thing. So you see here, we're going inside this list, but inside this list we want the first element, or yeah, element, and then so we want this here, the artist, and so that's what the zeros means. And then we're going to strip that, and then we're going to append it into our art list here, and then we'll increment, index right there. So let's print that out, see what this looks like. Alright, so we got the Beatles, Nirvana, the Beatles again, U2, and so on and so on. Alright, so now we're going to do this for each of them, but instead of doing that, let's just copy this. Alright, we'll change art list to album list. Same thing here. We'll change that to album list. We'll move this up one more because now we want the album and not the artist, so we move that to 1. We'll do the strip. Now let's print the album list. Oops, list index is out of range. Okay, so let's just manipulate this a little bit. Let's say we subtract 1. Alright, and now here we have the songs, as you can, or not the songs, I keep calling them songs, the albums. See here we have the Immaculate Collection, here we have the Immaculate Collection, and now let's do this again for the year. This is very convenient to save. We'll call this one year list. Same thing here, year list. We'll go up another value, and I shouldn't have to subtract 2. Let's see, now let's print out year list. Yeah, so now we have all the years. Oops, something's wrong here. I must have don't know what that's about. The White Album, where is this? Something's missing up here. Oops, I don't know what that is. So I found the problem why the White Album was in here. When you see here, those originally parentheses here, and so we just have to run another check where if that equals that, and then if file idx plus 1 is digit equals true, then we run this little thingy. Outside of that, this should run okay now. Now it's an infinite loop because of that. Let's go again. Yeah, so now it's not there. So I'm gonna stop the video here, and I'll continue in the next one. Alright.